As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to Zero to Hero. Today we have a very special guest. I'm super excited to hear about this story. We've got Jerren Thornhill. He is the founder of the George app, which is bringing dating into the 21st century, probably going to save a lot of marriages. So let's go ahead and bring him in, Jerren and Kevin Kwok.
Hello.
Hey, Jerren.
Hello.
Thanks for being on our show. We're excited to just hear about, this dating deal and tell us a little more about that really quick.
So thank you for letting me be on the show, Kevin. Gino, I appreciate it. Especially on today. Today is an awesome day. Yeah, man. Hey, I gotta ask you guys a question. I don't know if it's before or after. I might have to borrow that intro. I love it. Every time I see it, I like that Zero to Hero. Like, that's awesome. It's like my whole purpose in life and what I do and what I'm about, man, and discovering passions and purpose. So that's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So, tell me about One Pair.
All right, so one pair. See, One Pair is all about Zero to Heroes and discovering it at a young. Yeah, that's why I said it's about it. Discovering it at a young age, man. So One Pair is a shoe store, clothes store, education center designed, owned, and operated by the youth of Kansas City. So we buy, sell, trade, and clean shoes. We also take 6 local brands because it costs so much for local designers to get their own stores and be in Macy's and things like that. We create a spot that they can call theirs in Kansas City. And One Pair is a store where kids learning how to be entrepreneurs, learning life skills, and having fun while being a kid.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, how long have you been doing that for?
So we've been open since November 2020. This week is actually our 2-year anniversary that we made it through the pandemic, and we're here. So 2 years.
2 years.
I've been mentoring kids for a while, but the passion of turning a zero to a hero and is what I'm about.
Awesome. So in a couple of sentences, give me an elevator pitch about you, not One Pair KC, but yourself. Who is Jerren?
Oh man, I'm gonna stick with it. Jerren is a zero to a hero, a person who learned about himself at a young age and has turned into a creative person, an entrepreneur, a husband, a father, and a family man, and a mentor. Yeah.
Awesome. So please tell me a little about your social media journey since we are on social media.
LinkedIn. So that's where I met Gino, Kevin. Social media. I've been on it since a young age, since I graduated high school in 2009. That's when the social media was, what they say, popping, what the kids say, popping. And so then I've been through, Facebook, Twitter, but now LinkedIn is where you'll catch me, posting a lot about the business and things like that, and inspiring and motivating people.
So since you work with a lot of youth and kids, do you feel social media is where you connect with them the most, or tell me a little about that?
Honestly, I connect with the kids more real life. Social media, Yeah, I was gonna say it's real life. Those are the experiences that the kids really want, because social media is the thing that what the kids are seeing. YouTube. So me creating one part actually allow kids to see real life experiences. They actually get to see the real people that's on YouTube. The people that they see on commercials on everyday life TV. Just even in the news station, we were able to create partners with Kevin Holmes, which they see every day, but they never think they'll meet Kevin Holmes, to be able to, sit there and say, hey, this guy comes to my store every single day and shops with me. Real life experiences where I really connect with them at, but social media is what the world is using, what kids are using, but to connect it all is really the dope part about it.
No, I think that's so key, right? How do you utilize social media as just a vehicle in order to connect to true relationships, right? We do a lot of these Zero to Hero live shows, but at the end of the day, when you actually come in and meet with us, like Gino and myself and my team, that's where the magic happens, right? It's that relationship aspect. With every guest that hops on our show, we ask them, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. Because if you're in Kansas City, why not meet each other live, right? It's not just about this online relationship. It's, hey, we got to date a little bit, and get to know each other, right? So I think it's important to build relationships. And it's like you said, I personally, I'm a digital marketer, but I don't feel it'll ever substitute real human interaction. And every child needs it. Every adult, we all need relationships. And Jerren's back, so he don't hate me, man. Let's see
back
here. I think DM internet.
Yeah, we good. We good.
Yeah. Yep. No, and I think relationships as humans, we need that human interaction.
Yep. And it's definitely that vehicle that you talk about, because once the vehicle like gets you there, it's like, oh, this is what social media, this is that person behind that screen. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And people are different when you actually meet them live, right? There's a lot of you miss out if you're just following someone on social media, because I've met some of the influencers at like conferences and stuff, and in real life they're actually really down to earth, really cool people, and on social media they might put off a different vibe or presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cool. So every year is a defining moment. What is it when it comes to your life and career, Jerren?
Ooh. All right, clarify that a little more for me. Is it when I notice it, or am I working through it now?
What would you say is your defining moment in your life and career when it comes to what was that apple that fall, from the tree, and just the wake up call?
Oh man. Dang. When I knew, so I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Love Kansas City. From St. Louis. When I was 18, I never got to leave St. Louis till I was 18. And when I went off to college, I got to see other places and I got to see other things. And I'm like, whoa, that's out here. Like, you see it on TV just as the same as I was telling you about the kids. And I learned early that how to save money and how to do those things. I've been in 9 different countries, and from being 18 not to leave nowhere to being in 9 different countries. Yeah. And so when I realized, like, ooh, I can travel the world, I can do this, I can see, and then to lead other people to do it, that's when I knew the defining moment, like, oh, I can. Yeah, that was it when I seen the world. I was like, oh, I can really do this, I can get on a plane and go here, and so now I want to let kids and experience that at an early age, and say, hey, it's more than just your block, your neighborhood. It's so much more, so many more people out here, so many people going through the same thing you're going to. So when I got to fly and see those, I'm like, oh, it's people just out here like me, just not in this block area I'm at. So that was that defining moment.
So what gave you the opportunity to travel so much? What is it? Your parents or your
No, my parents, see, I didn't get to leave till I was 18. I just had my mom and stuff like that. My dad died at a young age, so um, I learned life skills. Life skills matter. And we don't learn life skills at a young age, how to save money when you make that $10, how to put up that $5. And that's one of those life skills I'm teaching at the one pair, how to save money, the simple things. A lot of things our parents are not taught. I'm teaching myself. I taught myself at 18 and I'm like, oh no, I'm teaching these to these kids right now. So, that's what it was. I learned life skills, and those life skills were able to take me around the world.
Isn't it crazy that how many kids don't actually learn how you really save money until you kind of stumble upon it after you turn 18, and all of a sudden you accumulate some bills and you're like, oh, there's something called bills. Like, I think for me, I grew up in an Asian home, and Asian homes are all about saving, but they really didn't give me life skills like investing, or like how do you double that money, or save 10%, or things like that. They just tell you, hey, you just pay your bills on time.
Yep. And so that's funny because
really...
yeah, and it's funny because my kids have savings now. So one of the things about one pair, you got to create a savings. Part of their paycheck goes to their savings account, and so it's like we got a savings account. Like, they don't stress about money and things like that, or something needs to be paid or something for the house. They're like, oh, we go to our savings account, and that's an awesome feeling to be able to do that at a young age, and not to go ask mom and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's what you're doing is so important in society, because I think there's so many homes that they aren't having those conversations with youth and teens. You just don't think about it as a parent, right? You just provide for them, and then afterwards, there are parents out there that don't know, they aren't even good with their own money.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So when it comes to, what do you feel is an attribute when it comes to being a hero? What defines a hero?
Oh, perseverance. Perseverance, to know you're always going to get knocked down, but you got to get back up. You got to always get knocked down, but it's about getting back up and knowing that when you get back up, go right back towards your purpose, and know that it's never going to stop, but you can thrive and you can persevere through it all.
So what made you have that tingling to become an entrepreneur? What drove you to start a business?
Oh man, it's funny, man. So I worked in the corporate world. I worked at Verizon, T-Mobile. I used to travel the country because that was one way that I got to save money and things. I was awesome at T-Mobile, and T-Mobile moved me to Florida, and I was able to save stores and things like that. So I got into the working force real fast, and those life skills, I was able to save money and travel and do those things. But then I switched to Verizon. Love Verizon. So this story has nothing. It's just crazy how entrepreneurs, one little thing can change it all. And so I was at Verizon. I was one of the top sales reps in Verizon in Kansas, Missouri, and things like that. And I was an awesome dude. I enjoyed it. I love working with, finding people pain points, and especially in the cell phone industry, and figuring out, oh, you need this, and then things like that. But dealing in the cell phone industry, a lot of people, when the phone doesn't work, it doesn't work. And they blame the reps in the store for the phones not working. And we get all the backlash and things like that. And so I was working in the store. I was doing awesome. And so this older guy came in, and his phone wasn't working. And he just started going off, and just like, I'm like, and I dealt with rude customers before, and he was just like, yeah, that's why Verizon kids make more money than you, and you just sitting here, and you're just like, I'm like, oh shuck, I'm like, I make a lot of money. But he's like, well, Verizon kids don't do anything, and they make more money. I'm like, I don't even know if the Verizon CEO had kids or anything. I'm just like, this guy just pushing my pain point, and I'm just like, dang. So that's when I noticed my worth. I'm like, dang, I'm making all this money, and I can become something. And I was like, so what I did was I seen a pain point that Verizon didn't do, fix cell phones. So me and my friend went and learned how to fix cell phones. And I was like, it's time for me to go venture out and start my own business. So I seen something that Verizon didn't do, and I started a cell phone company, and we started fixing cell phones and things like that. And that's when I realized my worth and things like that. And so that's where I became an entrepreneur, because from that little story with someone coming in and saying something to me, I was like, oh, and then I learned from a different company. I was like, hey, and I started fixing cell phones. And that's a little hobby. It's a hobby now, which was my main thing at first, but I can fix cell phones. A lot of people don't know that.
So is one KC your main thing now?
Which one pair KC? Mm-hmm. Yeah, one pair KC is my main thing. That's what I do. But I have the George app too, which was a whole because during the pandemic. So I'm big on the kid and, like I told you, being creative and those things at a young age and learning life skills. I actually gave all the money that I won from investors and Digital Sandbox to get the George app developed through We Code KC, which is a program of kids that develop apps. And at that time, obviously I could have went overseas. I could have went, anywhere else to get the app done faster. But I really wanted some kids to develop this app. And so I opened up One Pair at the same time. They say juggling two businesses is for real. So I had to put one on hold. I am looking to hire for the George app, but One Pair is my main thing right now. I have an app developed for the George app and things like that. We're looking at launching 9 cities and things like that. But yeah, One Pair is my main thing.
Tell me a little about that. Tell me about that new app you're developing. What's it designed to do?
So the George app came. I was in Africa. And I told you I never got to travel. And so when I went to Africa, I learned how to travel, save money. Went to all these countries. I learned how to travel. And, when you go to these countries, you got to find out things to do. You got to find out where to go. The first place you go into is a hotel. You say, hey, the hotel that you're at, where do I go? Things like that. You think you got stuff planned out, then you go to the place and you don't like the experience. And so I was like, I'm an awesome travel agent, but I don't want to be a travel agent. I don't like to call people. I don't want to be like, oh, you got to be like, oh, where's the money at? Where's the deposit? Where's this and that? And I was like, and then when I go places, my family's like, dude, you do the best stuff. How do you do that? And I was like, I really don't spend too much money. I just find out how to do it, where to go, and I do my research. And so when I was in Africa, a beam light came off. I was like, dude, I can do this, but I don't want to be a travel agent. And I thought about technology. I thought about Uber. I thought about Lyft. I thought about all those companies. And I'm big on pain points and seeing what things and people are missing in companies. And I seen and then when it comes to guys, it's really dedicated to guys because men are so simple that we're complicated. And that's what I was telling Gino earlier. When it comes to date night, we're simple. We're not trying to do new things. We're not trying to do those things. We're going to Texas Roadhouse and let's call it a night. You know what I mean? But our other half don't like that. They're like, no, we got to do something. We got to do something on the edge. So, and then when it comes to guy trips, it's not finding new locations. It's coordinating the funds. When you come to guys like, I'll do whatever, but it's actually coordinated funds. And so what I seen, I was like, what can I do to put something together to make date night, guy trip, everything easier? And I thought about a male series named George. And what George do is George takes local experiences, local restaurant, and premium transportation to allow men to create their day their way. And another thing I really created George for is because in Kansas City has so many things to do. The first thing people say is it's nothing to do in Kansas City. I'm like, wait, nothing to do in Kansas City. I think you just don't know what to do in Kansas City. So a lot of the smaller cities, we lose a lot of people or don't come to our city because they don't know what to do. So the George app was created to take local experiences, local restaurants, and premium transportation to allow men to create their day their way. So say if me and you want to play golf, we want steak and shrimp, and we want to go to a bar, you put all that inside the George app. George actually chooses its places for you. It's all prepaid. We actually send out a premium driver to actually pick you up at point A, takes you to point B, C, and D, and brings you back to point A. And it creates the whole trip.
That is awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when's this finished?
No, so the app is done. The app is done. It's just I don't want to I didn't realize when I created one pair, I didn't realize the impact and the trickle effect it was going to do. And so that's where I'm at right now. I don't want to put nothing else out to the world so I can get back to it fully. But that's why I said I'm willing to hire someone to get this out because it's a need for the George app. But the one pair, I didn't realize so many kids, I was just opening it, just opening it for kids. And I didn't realize so many kids were having this problem, needing shoes, wanting to be creative. I just thought it was, the kids that I would mentor before this, next thing you know, is just everybody's like, oh, how do I work at one pair? How do I do this? How do we scale this? How do we do this? And I'm trying to figure out the gist of both of everything. So that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick a superhero that relates best to you, who would that be and why?
Oh, man. Oh, so I'm gonna have to go with my son. What he would choose. He wouldn't even think about it. It's the reason why he chooses Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man.
Okay.
Spider-Man is that hero that you can show different stories behind. He has come different movies. They switched the character. They did everything. It shows perseverance. Shows that he lives on forever, no matter who it is. Anybody can be Spider-Man. Shows during Halloween, anybody can be Spider-Man. And Spider-Man always gets knocked down. He doesn't have all the extra superpowers that everybody else got, but he gets knocked down, but he gets back up. And that's what I was talking about, the perseverance part,
No, and I think that's so important, right? Persevering and understanding, especially, when you're in entrepreneurship, you get knocked down a lot. There's actually more loses than there are wins. And somehow, if you're the lucky entrepreneur, the top 10%, you're going to have that one win that changes everything, right? So if you had a nugget to give to our LinkedIn audience, YouTube audience, what would that be?
Ooh, let's see. It's a lot of them I can give. Keep going. Keep going, especially if it's something that you want to do. There's going to be many things that's going to try to stop you, but just keep going. I always say that, keep hashtag # keep going. I always say that, keep going. And that's what I would say. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Not to those two words, just keep going.
Yeah, I was just listening to a podcast on my way driving here to work this morning, and it was saying majority of people miss out on their big opportunities because they never gave enough time, right? Most of us, we're in a society where we want all these a quick ROI, a quick, a quick way to have fun. Everything has to be fast, right? We're in this fast food mentality, and most people just don't wait for the long game. And it's the long game and the process, the journey where the magic happens, right? But most people give up too soon. So there's so many people that's almost at their win, and then they drop off because they gave up, Mm-hmm. So what you just said is so key. It's just, you got to keep going, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're closer to that opportunity than we know, right? It's just, we don't wait it out and have patience too.
Yeah. And it's always like it's a solution, and it's like it's like it's there. It's like, oh, that was there the whole time, and once you quit, you're like, dang, I didn't realize, it's just a phone call away, just a little, something that can just stop it, and to be that solution. So
what's the best way for our audience to follow you or get involved with One Pair KC?
I always tell people say, oh, I don't do the shoes. I don't do those things. And I always say, I don't know if you remember beginning this interview, real life experiences for the kids. And that's what matters, to see that, the kids see, oh, people are coming in the store. People actually, want to see what we made, things like that. So stop by the store. We're located on 55th and Truce, 5511 Truce Avenue. I'm always there with the kids. If I'm not there, I'm doing something, grabbing shoes, but the kids know how to find me. But I would say just stop by, see them, talk to them. That's what matters. Human beings just want to be talked to, and let them know that, hey, you're doing good, and hey, this can help, this can do this, that's what it's all about, just being that real life experience. But you can also find me
awesome.
on LinkedIn and Jerren Thornhill. Check out our Instagram, One Pair KC. And it's important to check out the Instagram and the Facebook of One Pair KC because it's created by the kids. Everything you see is posted by the kids. They're learning how to be entrepreneurs. So a lot of my kids want to create social marketing and media companies. So that's the thing about One Pair. One Pair is just not a shoe store. They create their own business to actually make up equal parts of One Pair. So we needed a social media company. So my kids created a social media company. One of my kids wanted to take pictures. So all the pictures are taken by the kids. One of my kids wanted to do clothing line, So you don't have to actually sell in the store because a lot of people don't want to sell. A lot of people just want to create things and so that makes the whole business. So if you ever need pictures taken, they have a company for that. You need a social media company. They does. So One Pair KC is ran and operated by the kids truly.
That's so cool. That's so unique, and I think that's awesome, man. Giving these kids, a way to, put their skill set and make it come to life. So, well, thanks, Jerren, for being on the show. Appreciate having you, and for our audience out there, be sure to check out One Pair KC. Stop by the shop, just like Jerren. He's there. So go talk to the kids. They're there. So nothing beats human relationships. And I think Gino and I will probably have to stop by sometime as well.
Gotcha. And so Thursday through Sunday, we're open because the kids are going to school and their activities usually open to finish over through the week. So Thursday through Saturday, 12 to 6 p.m., you guys can come see us.
All right. Thank you, folks, and appreciate you being on our show.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you.